What's up, me bags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD, having tons of computer issues, but I'm being joined here by Days Gaming and, of course, Carl. What's up, gentlemen? Are you ready for this deep dive into
Yeah, whatever it
hidden
is.
lore?
Oh yes, definitely.
So
I got asked, did Phil Adams fire him out of a Nick Richards out of a cannon or something?
no, but I'll tell you what. I just linked the stream, and the image that Blinded Braille put on the thumbnail is fucking fire.
Nice. He's been knocking him out of the park.
He's pretty good.
I loved that one. Yeah, I loved that one with the our faces on the Avengers. That's funny.
Yeah, it was good. I liked the one he did with Gary, put Gary's face on the fat person.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just tweeting it out.
Well, let's get into it,
Here's
man.
the plan. We're gonna go over a whole bunch of shit, but the stream will be unlisted afterward. I will then make a short recap video that will be live for everybody for all eternity, because I've realized that some of our videos are really long and unwieldy.
No.
Yeah, I've been talking to some bigger
Really?
YouTubers. Some bigger YouTubers made some suggestions on how to sort of mitigate the damage that these long, unwieldy videos do.
Trim the fat.
Yeah, so
I mean, I'm not saying they're long, but I am saying you could use GWG episodes for time deprivation experiments.
yeah, well, I'm not just talking about that, Carl. I'm talking about the videos, the regular, normal videos too. So we're going to be trimming the fat everywhere. I'm no longer going to be walking everybody through, showing my work as it will on videos. I'm just going to get straight to the point. I'm going to say my piece, lay it out there, put you some links in the description, and I'll call it a day.
That sounds good, man. Like
now,
it.
as far as live streams are still going to be crazy, wild. We're going to go 6-7 hours, like Ninja Kitty saying here in the chat. What's up, Ninja Kitty? We got Ninja Kitty, Dorkside, JW Durbin, his new face around here, Francis.
I think 6 or 7 hours is definitely doable. I think it's long, but I would agree to that over 8 or 10 hours.
24 hours.
You just need a bit of structure. That's all.
We could start at an Amico 24-hour news network.
Oh no, I don't have.
Ross. What's up, Bob? We got Blinded.
I don't have too much shit in my life for that. Carl, the faceless one, as Potion Sword calls me.
Yeah, we got Master System Marceau stopping by. We got lots of people here. Generation X Gamer, he's driving.
What's up, man?
Yo.
All right, so we're gonna wait a couple more minutes, maybe like another minute, so that way some people can trickle in. What we have, gentlemen, is shocking, disturbing, and I think I owe everybody an apology because I said Phil Adams, Coleco Chameleon was a nothing burger. That's what I said. I said it was no big deal, but I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't look into it properly.
That's really weird for you. You usually could find out when someone got a plastic surgery or something and what happened to them afterwards.
I can, and that's the thing. I didn't actually look into it because I didn't think there was anything there. I just, yeah.
Shame.
I took a shortcut, and well, at least we got another live stream out of it because we are going to be talking lots of stuff. Oh my God, there is so much stuff to talk about here.
Okay,
it's ridiculous.
All right,
I am still tired from that 10-hour stream the other day. That was epic and a little crazy. I ended up not sleeping all day. I missed the big No Square Gamer psychology stream. I wanted to be on that, but I was up for like 35 hours at that point. I think it was probably best that I went to bed.
Yeah, you would have been talking delirium.
What's up, Rhea, with the new little avatar there?
A friend of mine suffers from sleep deprivation sometimes, and he's a wreck for that reason.
All right, so here's how we're going to start this, gentlemen. We're going to start this with this little image here. Coleco Chameleon. This was their, website. This is a screenshot. Obviously, it's not a website. As you can see, this is the Our Team page. This was the thing that caused all the controversy because Phil Adam, VP Business Development, there he is. Good old Phil. Is part of the Coleco Chameleon team. So, what I'd call a nothing burger, because Phil was just on the team. I figured, hey, perhaps he was just some dude that got contacted, slapped his name, sort of a Jay Allard type situation, right? Didn't really have anything to do with it. Well, we're gonna stop sharing that. We're gonna share something from one of the Amico fans. Because we always like to show both sides of the story here. So we're going to show one of the Amico fans who came out and made a Twitter thread about this very subject. So we're going to go ahead and share that. If the computer ever comes back. There it is. So this is the 6th tweet in a tweet chain from Mike Mullis, Next Level Gaming. I should know that because I remember I think it was 2005 or 6, Mike Mullis was voted worst journalist on the internet.
No way.
Little known fact. I don't know if it's true or not, but
no.
It's probably why it's a little known fact. So Mikey Mullis here, he says, right now, the only thing people are trying to pin on Phil Adam is any involvement with the Coleco Chameleon, which he was an unpaid consultant who walked away from the project after telling them not to take their product to Kickstarter or Indiegogo. That's it. He then says, so if you're going to lump Phil Adam in with Chameleon, then you should have the decency to also lump him in with all his successes he has had in his career running game companies and being on various boards. His resume should speak for himself. So, Mike, you are 100% correct. This is the reason I went looking, Mike, because I said we're going to talk about his connection to Coleco. We got to talk about everything.
Can I
cards on the table, right?
I need to be a little technical here. Taking apart companies and destroying them is not considered should not be make you good business development.
Well, in the second tweet in the chain, Mike said here, all people are talking about is the Coleco Chameleon, which he only had a scant involvement. But it's important to know what else he has done in his career in the industry. And I'm going to lay out so people know why he was put in charge. Well, Mike, you laid out various things like his Spectrum Holobyte stuff. You talked about him being the Interplay board of directors for the Software Publishing Association. But Mike, there's so much more that you missed. So much more. We're going to get to that today here on this thing.
I mean, wasn't Intellivision eventually gone?
What do you mean eventually gone, Carl?
I mean, they're not here anymore.
No, Intellivision is here. Intellivision Entertainment. Mattel was the original company.
Oh, sorry. I thought I said Interplay. Sorry. My bad. That's all on me.
Interplay.
Sorry about this. So, sorry about that.
The first bit of misinformation here being presented by Mike Mullis here. He says, I have multiple people I've spoken to about it who all say the same thing. Plus, if you notice, he's not on the Indiegogo either. He told them not to do it. Okay. So if we click this link here, this will take us to the Retro VGS Indiegogo. Now, immediately you're probably going, Tony, we're not talking about the Retro VGS. Why would we go to that Indiegogo?
Okay, I admit I was kind of thinking something like that.
I wasn't sure if you guys heard me because my computer froze for a second.
Yeah,
You're
I
fine.
didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
That link goes to
Uh-oh.
His computer went out again.
the
Go.
we're talking about the Coleco Chameleon, not the Retro VGS. But if you know anything about the whole thing, it was the Retro VGS. They then teamed up with Coleco, became the Coleco Chameleon. Then they got the Coleco name taken away, and very shortly they were the Retro Chameleon. Like a very short period of time. So
Okay.
share the screen because it's very important to, like I said, to get all the facts, to get everything correct. At least here on this stream. Like when I do the other one, I'm not going to go through all this when I make the video. I'm just going to tell you the information and then just give you the links.
Right.
Well, let's hope your computer survives.
Really, it's already struggling to get the Retro VGS page up.
It's chugging down the
My
track.
computer. My computer.
Turn on super chats. Super chats are not enabled. I'm not big enough yet. Yeah, show's right. If I get 1,000 subs, I will buy a new PC.
We need to start a fundraiser.
Okay, that's
a fundraiser.
Okay, that's fair. I agree to that. That's a good goal.
As you can see, this is the Indiegogo campaign for the Retro VGS. This is what Mike Mullis linked us to. Okay. But again, we weren't talking about the Retro VGS. We're talking about the Coleco Chameleon, right? So this was started by Mike Kennedy. It got $81,000 out of a goal of almost $2 million was their goal. Where is the team page? What the hell was that?
Is someone smoking weed?
That was my son. Hold on, I'll mute it. And you gotta be quiet.
All right, so here's the Retro VGS talking about Adventure of Tiny Knight, Gun Lord, blah 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 blah, City Hunter. Shantae apparently was coming to the Retro VGS. Keith Robinson was very excited about making new games for the Retro VGS. Nice controller. Look at that.
Classy.
Look at all those colors. You got like 40 different fucking colors.
Ooh.
You got molds. Come on, where the fuck's your team at? There it is, our team right here. So you got Mike Kennedy, Steve
Kennedy,
Wada, John Carlson. That's it. That's the whole team. Three people. This is the team. But wait a minute. The image that I showed you originally had more than 3 people, right? So why the discrepancy here, guys? Anybody know?
I have a
feeling you're going to tell us.
I have a psychic feeling you're going to tell us.
Okay. So, in case you guys didn't realize, the Retro VGS did a Kickstarter campaign before ever becoming the Coleco Chameleon. You see, that was not the Coleco Chameleon campaign that Mike Mullis linked. That was the original Retro VGS campaign, the one that had no Phil Adam involvement in it, the one that was just Mike Kennedy, Wada, and John Carlson.
Mm-hmm.
So already off the bat, Mike Mullis is spreading misinformation, spreading things that just aren't true.
Oof.
But by the way, guys, the only reason they're probably even talking about it is because you're spreading misinformation.
Well, I'm talking about it. The only reason that I'm talking about it is because of this tweet here, and we got to get to it because this is a doozy. Can you guys see this?
Nope, you're gonna have to read it to
Says-
me.
I
No,
have to
he
read it.
shouldn't.
It says, and as someone who spent nearly a decade as a games journalist, I actually know how to get information about things. So that is how I know. That is how I know no rational, actual gamer should care about it. And most don't. They just want to see the thing come out. Mike Mullis, the actual, factual journalist. But he's wrong. Again, because he doesn't know how to get the information, because he doesn't know how to actually check his sources. What's up, Smash? I see you in the chat. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go way back several years, in fact. And you might want to grab the popcorn right now, grab the snack, grab the drink. If you got to take a piss, I recommend doing it right now because we are gonna go on a journey.
That's okay. I can do that while you're talking. All you gotta do is flip my mic up.
Yeah, don't do it. Also, I just want to note that during that 10-hour live stream, I didn't take a piss break. Other YouTubers will go 2 hours, half hour, 45 minutes. They're out there pissing, leaving empty chairs. Not me.
Okay. You're
I
awesome.
I'm every 2 hours. There's no way. That's insane, dude.
That
can't be good for your kidneys.
Me and Days are boomers, okay? Give us a freaking break.
Right.
We're bad
Sony's
at technology.
Right
we have to go to the wee every few hours. Give us a break.
Someone named Steve Tom Sawyer says he can confirm a bunch of things about Phil firsthand. Says, go ahead.
Yeah, dude. That guy is that guy's cool. I've been talking with him. He knows things. Like he was supposed to do a live stream with me and Ninja Kitty, but we had to postpone it.
Well, Smash says he can jump on. I'll give him the link if he wants to jump on and talk some Phil Adams.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Because I think this will be almost educational for Smash. Because Phil Adams was kind of almost the tipping point.
You're gonna take him to school.
That broke the camel's back. The proverbial straw. So this here is Vintage Computer Federation forums. Probably wondering, what are we doing here, Tony? Well, I'm gonna tell you what we're doing here. This person here, Chase the Chuck Wagon, that is Mike Kennedy himself, Big Mike Kennedy. Now he says here on his premiere podcast for a Retro Gaming Roundup, he's going to be speaking to Mr. Phil Adam. That's right. On the very first podcast Mike Kennedy ever did on Retro Gaming Roundup, he had Phil Adam as his guest. Now, you might be wondering, how? How did he get Phil Adam? How did he get this man to be a guest on his podcast? Well, thankfully, Mike Kennedy answered that question for us. He says, thanks. It's cool as I met Phil on a flight from Orange County to San Jose. He was sitting next to me on a Southwest flight, and he was playing Touchmaster DS on his Nintendo DS. I happen to have my DS with me. Never travel without it. And said Touchmaster was one of me and my wife's favorite games. He then indicated he was with the company that developed it for Midway, Phoenix Soft. So we ended up shooting the shit for the flight to San Jose, and come to find out he was also the guy who started Spectrum Holobyte. Needless to say, this turned into a very great discussion about the history of gaming. Then we landed, and he asked if I could give him a ride to a venture capital meeting in Sunnyvale. Sure, why not? Then come to find out we are neighbors. That was about a year ago, and we have been good friends ever since. He has connections to anyone who is anyone in the industry, so he will be getting us lots of great interviews in the future. Life's kind of funny that way.
I mean, any married man should be a touch master. Let's just be honest.
This is where they started. This is where the meeting of the minds first happened. Mike Kennedy, Phil
So
Adam
they,
brought together
on a flight.
on a flight. But where would
was
that lead
des-
us?
It was
Gentlemen?
I've heard this
destiny.
story before.
You've probably heard this story, yeah. People have. But
I could swear I've heard it, probably from you.
Probably. But where did this lead us? Where? Well, you'll be happy to know that Mike Kennedy actually had something called Postal Gamer. You're probably like, what's this? What is Postal Gamer? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to mosey on over to GameDeveloper.com, where they had an article, Postal Gamer. Hey, there he is. I didn't hear a little ding. What's up, Smash?
Ding, ding.
Hey, how's it going?
Ding dong.
Well, there's a
What's
little
going on,
pause.
guys?
That goes off.
I've been wanting to meet you. You've been on my list of people to talk to. What's up?
I made the list.
Yeah, you've been on my list. That's
not
a good
too
thing.
much. I don't know how long I got because I'm actually on a mini vacation with the in-laws and the family, so I've just kind of escaped away. But I'm doing the rounds, chatting with folks that I did wrong.
Yeah,
and I'm
it's
like,
all right.
I can't leave Tony and you guys out of this. So
I mean, it's cool. I mean, you ended up here, so
yeah, and I mean,
that's cool.
First off, Tony and the guys, I know you saw my previous video. It's been a long road to get here, and it took a lot of pride to swallow and say, yeah, I should have been more open, because your fair approach to the situation speaks volumes, and I think the truth eventually always comes out. Sometimes you just have to wait longer to find it, and here we are. So congratulations, I guess is what I'm saying.
I mean,
not by the way, not that the Intellivision's failed and it's completely a scam and it's fallen apart, but more so just the cracks that you guys were calling out were legitimate the whole time, and I there's something to be said for that.
I mean, everyone has their motivations. Me, Daze, Tony, you name it, everyone's got them, and that's cool. So don't worry about it.
I appreciate that. And that was one of the things I was worried about, kind of flippity flopping on this whole thing, being so ingrained with it from the get-go.
Hey, I was here before you. Tony will tell you, so don't worry about it.
It's such a relief, because I'm like, man, I'm gonna be disowned by everybody on the internet because nobody's gonna like me now, because I've gone from one extreme to the other here, and it's like, not that I'm like, I don't want to say I'm extreme, but just like from going from extreme to taking a step back, I guess is the fair way to look at it.
I mean, Smash It isn't so bad. I left them, and people love me, so.
Carl, you got a man crush on Smash, huh? It's a
no.
Thing. It's like a
me and him are flip flopping buddies. That's all. We've both of us have done it. So
they've got Carl was the pioneer.
I've had a couple people call me out for it, but for the most part, it's been just a resounding. We're really thankful and glad that you just opened your eyes to just look at the situation for what it is, instead of just rose-colored glasses with everything. You
didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, for one night.
Real quick, I will say, we were never about not having people enjoy the Amico or not wanting it to come out or trying to destroy family gaming and fun. We were always just about being critical, seeing the cracks, as you said. So we are really glad that you could take a step back and say, you know what? Let me look at this objectively. Let me get out from in it. Just take a look at it from the outside. And, you have come to say the same conclusions that many of us have come to.
And Tony, you, I mean, looking back, Not that you're perfect. I don't want to give your ego too much of a boost. But looking back, like you were always very kind to me, and always like, hey man, I just want to like talk to you about this. And I was like, F you, man, you're not looking at it for what it is. And you're like,
Did that?
Right.
I did that too. Dude, I'm telling you, just about everything you've done, I've probably done before you.
People say that I grow on them like cancer, so no.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I feel like. I mean, just just the thought that I'm on this talking to you. If you had told me this like 2 months ago, I would have laughed you out of the room and been like, I'm never talking to that a-hole. Are you kidding me? So yeah, it's funny how time passes can change perspective.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, it always comes back to Tony. Everybody always comes here. This is the place.
Thanks, Smash, for giving him that ego. Thanks.
I mean, like I said, he's not perfect, but he definitely deserves credit when it's due. So,
but since we got Smash here, I think we should take a little detour since we got him.
Yeah, and right now. I'm sorry for like crashing the party here. Like that was my
it's like, cool.
I'm like, no, I was listening for a little bit, and I'm like, I don't want to just jump on because they are like focused. They got a list of things to go through. I'm like, I don't want to jump on and be like, hey, it's me.
I mean,
do that,
well,
you know, if you watch the show, we always end up in these weird tangents.
Yeah, that's true. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
No, but like I said, since you are here, I gotta know. You were trashing the system. You said it was terrible, it looked terrible. You didn't believe in it at all. You said it was crap. Then you went to Tommy's house, talked to him. And suddenly you liked it. You loved it. Mm-hmm. You didn't go from like a 5 to a 6. You went from like a 0 to a 10 on the system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I just got to know what was it that made this like huge change? Was it? Did he tell you things? Was he like, hey, this is what we're planning? We can't say nothing, but here's future plans, and that made you get on board? Was it just playing it? Like you played it and like, oh, this is amazing.
It was. It's hard to encapsulate in words. I'm going to try my best. So my initial take on it was what I should have stuck with, and I'm like frustrated that I even took Tommy up on the offer. Looking back, ironically, because Pat and Ian were right when they wanted to keep their distance, and you too, Tony. You wanted to keep your distance from it because you want to remain objective with it. And I wanted to see it because I'm like, oh, if I get to see it, then I can actually give some insight to it. So that was my initial. Okay, I took the approach of, why the hell do we need this? There's like a million consoles out there, and all the ones that are out there are sufficient enough to play these games. The Switch has family games on it. I have retro game consoles. The Wii can do this with motion controls already. There is literally there's no use for this system. That was my initial approach for the people that aren't familiar. I saw Tommy reach out to Pat and Ian on Twitter, and Pat rejected him. And I kind of jumped in on Twitter in the public forum, and I was like, hey, Tommy, I'm in San Diego. I'd love to come up and see it if they're turning you down. Like, I was a nobody. I'm still a nobody in the grand scheme, but back then I was really a nobody. And Tommy was like, yeah, sure, man. I'd love to show it to you. And I was like, just that meant so much to me because I'm like, I've been ignored by people trying so hard on YouTube for so long that somebody actually acknowledged me. I was like, okay, that's cool. And this guy is making a system and he's bringing me up to the headquarters. Oh my God, like that was cool. So to answer your question, I haven't even gotten there yet. I went up there, saw it, played it, and loved it. Had a great time with it, and felt like the experience was different enough to make it feel justified to exist at the price point. Like that was like back then. That's when it was $150. I was like, I could see this thing being successful. There's definitely a market. In Bed Bath Beyond, you see this thing, $150, get these games, a marketplace, like all the bells and whistles. Tommy sold me the world on it when I first saw it, and I was like, okay, he made it sound like everything was already in like line to be. It was set to go out, and they just needed to get that round of funding to put it over the edge, and they'd be good. And I was like, man, I could see this getting a niche of picking up that Wii crowd. I could see that. And then time passed, and promises started getting broken, and prices started raising, and delays started happening, and loans started coming out that were ridiculous, and people connected to the system were bad connections with other systems. And I'm just like, whoa, this is more. Speaking of growing like cancer, Tony, this has grown into something disgusting. And I'm like, this is not what I was told, promised, or shown when I first saw it. And I think that's what I want to get across to people, why I was able to do a 180 back then. Like, okay, I could see a market for this, and I'm excited, and I want to invest in it. And then it flips over back to another 180 of being everything, not everything, a lot of things that they had promised were either completely flat out lies or changed to align with a different goal that was not what they initially set out for.
Let me
does that answer the question?
Let me add on here. I mean, you guys don't realize how intoxicating this Tommy Tallarica's charisma actually is. Yes. It really is. Tommy, it got him. It got me.
Dude, I'll tell you. I said this on OTG's podcast last night. Like, if Tommy was a video game character, like a make your own character, he'd have 100 on charisma. You could not. No one would be higher than him. His charisma exceeds all.
Bill Clinton has better charisma.
I don't know. I would challenge that. I don't know. Tommy's very charismatic, and I don't want people to hear that like it's a bad thing. Like, people can be charismatic and it be a great attribute as long as you correlate that with being steadfast and honest with your customers. Then that's an amazing combination. But the problem was that's not what this was. That's what this.
That's exactly it. He's got politician's charisma.
He could be a politician.
So I want to slide the timeline back again.
Okay.
Because I got all these questions. I've been thinking about it. I knew this moment was coming. I'm always prepared.
Yeah, Tony. I told you. I know.
Just see.
So we're gonna
see
slide
how far
the
we can
timeline
go.
back. That initial trailer, the one that Portland Retro Game Expo 2018. Are you aware that the whole demonstration that Tommy gave was not supposed to happen?
I was not aware of that. No.
Yeah, he was invited to be the keynote speaker. People were under the assumption that he was going to come out, say some stuff about his career, about some retro gaming, and all that. No one knew that they were going to be presented with an Amico presentation, coming out party, what have you. People left. People left in the middle of it because that's not what they came for.
Oh, snap. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. And then that initial price point, he said it was like 159 to 189. I might be wrong.
I thought he said 149 to 189, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said don't kill me, because I know there'll be people typing angrily, no, Tony, it was 149, not 159.
Well, maybe I'm wrong too. I don't remember, but somewhere around there. Yeah.
It was under $200.
Yes.
He would then go on later on. Because we watch a lot of stuff. I don't know, everybody doesn't follow as closely or whatever. But he would go on to another stream later on and basically say that he pulled that number out of his ass. That there was never a real number.
Wow.
Because he didn't actually do any. He didn't have a bomb at that point. He didn't have a bill of materials. He didn't know what was going into it.
Yep.
And additionally, part of that trailer that you would see things like the Running Man game, or like there's a Running Man in coins. That's not a real game. He would later on admit that that's not even a game.
Right.
The Cat Fighters is not a game. So how do you feel now knowing that some of the things that they were showing off as games, even as early as the original trailer, weren't even real?
It falls in line with everything that when you start opening your eyes, you're like, what even is real? You start asking questions like, where do the lies end and the truth begin? It's like, I was watching a video, I don't remember what it was. It's like some former lawyer guy asking if the Amico is a scam. You guys probably saw the video. It came out yesterday.
Yeah.
And he brought up the point of the operating system, comparing it to the blast processing of the Sega. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Right. And I'm like, holy crap. And they showed like countless interviews of him saying, oh, it doesn't even mean anything, but it's just like blast processing. It's a marketing term. It doesn't actually. And then they're like showing like trying to prove to the what was it, the SEC or whatever it was for the to get the patent approved, saying that they have patents in motion for this proprietary system. And then they show like, oh, it's not even a real thing. It's marketing. But then they use that to try to sell the system to people, to investors. And I'm like, that's just very two-faced. The weird thing is, it could be, there's a fine line you walk when it comes to marketing. And whenever I do these, I don't want to just make it a like crap on Tommy stream, because there's a fine line you walk where marketing will take you so far, and you can say some things that borderline, rub up against that's not really on the up and up, but whatever, it's marketing speak, we'll let it slide.
Fluffing.
Yeah, it's fluffing, but it happens everywhere. We all know how marketing is. But the problem is when you pile that in with everything else, and it's like everything's just fluff. Where's the reality? And that's where I came to the point with the video when I was really frustrated with the whole situation. It came to a head, and I'm like, if they've only made, from what I've seen, and I'm sure I'm wrong on this, and I'm sure it would piss Tommy off to hear me say this, but I've only seen like 7 Amicos running and working, and they're all on different operating systems, and they're all at different stages, and they're all connected to different controllers, and they all had their own set of issues with them that they were trying to figure out. I can't speak for other consoles in other countries around the world and things like that, but there were only like 7 of them that I saw, and that might be given a credit. It might have been like 5 or 6. Point being, what was I playing on? Because if they only made 7 dev kits, and this operation's been rolling for 3 years, why have they not made more dev kits? Why have they not made some review units? Why have they not made some units to send out to show off if they're that excited about it? Why is this so secretive still? There's so many questions I have just around that. That's extremely concerning, because it kind of feels like they're just running a bare bones operation to extrapolate more money out of people. And I hate to insinuate that, but when you put everything together, it's like, why hasn't there been more progress here? Why is there yet another crowdfunding campaign? Why like, I don't know. I have so many whys here. I'm answering a question with whys. Sorry.
Well, here's a little known fact, because you probably don't come around the channel often enough. But Tommy actually admitted in the comment section that the Karma engine wasn't real, that it was a quote-unquote philosophy and not an actual engine. John Alvarado also confirmed in comment section that it was not a real engine, not a real game engine, just a philosophy. So we've been actually pointing that out for a long time. A lot of the stuff that's coming out now, we've pointed it out so much that we just got tired of pointing it out. Yep. Everyone's like, oh, it's brand new. It's like, no, not really.
And yet we came up with even more stuff to point out.
That we did.
And I think that's the problem is Tommy is so charismatic, and I was so captivated by the idea of a cool new console that I looked at all of you and so many other people as people trying to get clout off of trashing a system because it's an easy way to grow on YouTube is just by being negative. And I mean, knock me for it if you want, but I want to take the approach of, okay, I've been negative enough on this platform. I'm going to be positive for once, and I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to this company. I'm going to be on their side, and I'm going to see where this goes. And I'm like, God damn, like, why just be me? I should have just, instead of trying to be positive, I should have just been me, and that's so depressing.
It was just made worse by people making videos that would just make you couldn't criticize like what you were trying.
Yes.
You couldn't criticize without people coming at you and attacking you, and people just got
why?
mad about it.
You know why? It's because of me. I was the biggest problem with that. I'll be the first to admit it, and I apologize until my face turns blue, because I played it and I loved it. I had so much fun, and I was in love with the system, but I was also in love with the idea of competition.
I think that's just why more people started making videos. You know, because why couldn't you just have like some kind of critique if it was just kind of met with, well, here, let's just answer it and talk about it. People just couldn't understand that why they were being attacked, and just it got out of hand. Like, because I think a lot of people enjoy positive things. I like being happy about things, you know. But
I love happy endings.
It just turned so negative so quickly, unnecessarily, because of just my unwillingness to accept criticism.
My issue with it was and I don't want to insinuate this with Tommy, because I mean, maybe there was some misunderstanding along the way to give him the benefit of the doubt, but the way it came across to me was the system was basically ready to go like 3 years ago. And I was like, oh, I am on board with this. These guys have been working in secret to get this thing out there. I went and played the games and stuff like that. But then looking back, I realized, like, no, he kind of hid the home screen from me initially and didn't really say anything about that. And I didn't ask questions because I was just so caught up in it's a new game system, and these are games, I'm playing on it. And then like 2 years later, I saw the home screen, but he didn't like go into too much depth with it on like, after I see like all the settings and menus and everything all have the same icon. And I'm like, that's a big problem. This is not close to being done. But I realized that after the fact. But in the moment, I'm thinking this thing is guns blazing, ready to go. Let's do this. This is exciting. It's just let's do it. And that was my frustration with people knocking it down, as I'm like, it's ready. I've played it. If you guys can just stop trying to trash it and play it yourselves, you'll understand what I mean. And now looking back, I'm like, well, it's cool, but playing it is one thing. But if you don't have a console to play it on, there's a greater issue here with the business at large. And that's where I've taken a step back, and let's look at that. And I'm like, holy crap, I'm really late to this party. But better late than never, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, real quick. I got to get to two things. First off, I've always been positive on the Amico. I was positive that it was having a lot of issues and needed serious help. It's not necessarily a negative thing. And number two, Show says Karma Engine isn't real, but it was filed for that German grant money, though. Well, here's the thing. Now, again, I'm not trying to insinuate any nefarious activity. Okay, let me just put it out there. But it is patent pending. Whether or not they could get it to work, whether or not it is something that could exist because they have the skill to make it happen or not, it doesn't matter. They actually put it in the patents, the Karma Engine system. So when they filed the grants in Germany, they basically said, hey, yeah, we got this system. It's patent pending. You know.
Yep,
So
just to be able to get approved for the grant for the games, which is shady as fuck, by the way. Just to be honest, like, and it's stuff like that where it's like I like to give the benefit of the doubt to someone who's really kind to me, but then I start hearing stuff like that, and I stop and I start asking questions. To answer, I saw someone asked me a question in the comments here. Smash, why were you still in the moment? This was Show. Why were we still in the moment 2 years later, and then another year up to today? LOL. I'm full disclosure. Like I think the biggest issue with me just stepping outside myself and being totally honest was once I invested $10,000 into it myself, I was pot committed to making sure to see this through to the end. And I was like hell bent, and I was hell bent on that. And I'm like, I got to the breaking point, and this is just me being real, that I could have put $1 million into this, but I would have to. Am I allowed to swear on this channel or no?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Fuck
Yes.
Fuck yes.
I would be fucking retarded to keep.
Oh, we're not allowed to say that word.
Well, we don't do that.
You're not allowed to
far.
say that word.
Oh, sorry.
You're not
Well,
allowed to
I'd
use
be-
the R word, but you're allowed to say
Okay.
about everything else.
I would be a fucking moron to not recognize what's happening, even with money in this at this
Smash.
point. There's just too much. There's too much evidence against it for me to keep fighting. I'm like, I can't. I can put up a fight up
All right,
until
so we
a
got a
certain point.
visitor.
Let's see.
Yeah. Real quick, I got to get to this from Drama Alert. Keemstar
Mhm.
wants you to know that Intellivision Amico will be the greatest gaming console since the NES. Stop hating. Keem, if you want to jump on in, have a discussion.
Yeah, come on.
Is that really Keemstar, or is that a fake drama alert?
I don't know if it is or isn't, but I'm going to pretend like it is. All right.
Oh, by the way, Smash. I used that word before you, so don't worry. I made that mistake too.
Yeah, no, I just
Trust me.
I'm
There
just
are
being-
many parallels between us.
We all grew up using that word, but it's like you know, I don't. You
Yeah.
just get to a point where
Well,
I've
there
tried to
are
stop
yeah.
using it too, and it's tough.
There are many parallels between us, so yeah, don't worry that much about it. Everything you've done on this whole thing, I've almost probably done. So
Yeah, and my
So-
point being is like I'm just saying this is on me. I'm saying that I need to be able to step outside myself and be real with the situation. I can't keep pretending and living in a fairy tale, this fantasy land, that everything's hunky dory when it's not. I have to be, push comes to shove, rubber hits the road. Where are we at? And we're now on our fourth crowdfunding or fourth fundraising, whatever you want to say. This one's crowdfunding now, campaign, which is it's become an embarrassment at this point. Like I told Tommy, I told him this, and you guys have heard me say this before they move forward with that. I had a private conversation with them, and I said, "This is a very bad idea, Tommy, and I do not agree with you doing this. I'm telling you this right now, behind closed doors. You move forward with this campaign, it's going to be a problem." And he's like, "Why is that?" And I say, "Because," and I'm paraphrasing. And I say, "Because you don't have any consoles out there yet, and you're asking for more money again after getting millions and millions of dollars and nothing to show for it." And then he came out with all these excuses of why they need to do it and why and I'm like, I don't care what you have to say after what I just said. Fact of the matter is, you move forward with this, it's a really bad look on top of other bad looks you've already had. And then since then, there've been even more bad looks since then. And I'm just like, at some point, you have to start questioning the rationale. And go ahead.
So again, once again, I want to slide it back because there's so much that happened early on with the Amico that I don't think everyone even watching realizes. But they released a second trailer. This was like the first actual Amico trailer, not at the Portland Retro Game Expo, and it featured Evel Knievel, good old Evil, among other games. And then we learned some wily journalist guy reported that Evel Knievel was a mobile game, and they actually used the footage from the mobile game trailer in the official Intellivision trailer. What did Tommy say? Are you at liberty to what was it, the excuse or the reasoning he gave for that?
I don't think that was something that came up between me and him talking about that. I mean, just to be full disclosure, like one of the things that I realized is I was in a situation where it was kind of like I didn't want to hear bad news about it. You know what I mean? I was ignoring the bad news because I'm like, I've played it. It's fun. I don't care what people have to say about it. The actions speak for themselves. Let's get the system out there and it'll shut everybody up. And my problem has little to do with that kind of stuff because you didn't get the system out there. Like that's what I keep going back to. Like, yeah, Evel Knievel is a mobile phone game port, which actually, in a certain light, is hysterical for Tommy defending how it's not mobile phone games. And I'm like, well, it's literally a port with an extra like available rocket ship option, which full disclosure is actually pretty fun. I played that extra option with him, and you can angle the rocket ship and try to get further than the other people, and it's neat. It's cool, but the game itself is literally a port of the whole game for a system that claims to not be a mobile phone game system. So it's just, yeah, it's funny.
All right, so
now you
Gen X
should,
Gamer has a question here. He says, Smash, would you join a class action lawsuit if it were to happen, hypothetically speaking?
Whoa.
I don't. I would refrain from answering that at this point.
Now, Smash, you know, if you gave them all your money, it would probably make the console launch. You know that, right?
Honestly, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
Oh,
my concern is
I agree.
What's that?
He agrees.
I would say I agree with you.
I don't think it's and this is going to be so. It's going to sound really bad to say, but hopefully it helps self-reflect. But I don't think it's a money issue. I think it's a management issue. They could have all the money in the world, and what the hell are they doing with it?
Using it to sacrifice versions.
It's a direct self-reflection on the management of the company if they're unable unable to produce a console with as much money as they've had, and plus their own money that they've quote unquote poured into the system themselves, which Tommy has told me personally that he has done. It's since come to light that these were self-fulfilling loans that they got paid back interest on, which is interesting in its own light. But just the fact that they've had all this money and haven't produced a console, what would giving them more money do? Like I would have, again, I'd be a fucking moron to think giving them more money at this point would produce a different result. Like what needs to happen is they need to produce the console, and they've had the runway. They ran out of runway, and now, as I'm sure you've seen, you see, God, who was it? In the what's the latest crowdfunding? The Start Engine, where they were talking about how they're looking to change the direction where they might make a slimmed down version of the Amico, remove the lights, and sell it with one controller. And I'm like, this is literally the complete opposite direction of what the whole purpose of this console was in the first place.
Yeah, it's supposed to have like hydraulics and lights and, and a disco ball.
It's supposed to bring people together. So the idea of selling it with one controller is fucking hysterical. The whole point was to bring people together. The problem is they put the cart before the horse. They didn't do the math. They didn't put it down on paper and say, okay, doing this is going to cost this much. And if they did, which they would argue they did that, and then inflation, the pandemic hit, and then chip shortage and all this other stuff blew their plans out of whack, which, okay, fair. Why have other consoles why has the Retrocade been able to come out during the pandemic? Where are just the review units? Where is anything? That's what I get back to, just to counter them saying, oh, we haven't been able to make them because of this. Okay, but other companies have, and you haven't made any. It's not like it's not like you made a few and then you're like, okay, we're stuck here because we need more money. It's like you haven't made any. Like, where are they? What's going on? Like, people need to start asking questions because you're now crowdfunding a fourth time with nothing to show for it. And I feel like they're in a tough spot. They've put themselves in a tough spot because it's been mismanaged to hell. I genuinely believe that. And now seeing how these replies on the Start Engine, it's rookie. It's so rookie. It's like They respond to people like they're a new YouTuber that can't take criticism. It's embarrassing. Like it's not professional at all.
That's the
It's
word,
really bad.
embarrassing.
Here's a question for you, Smash. Here's a question.
Yeah.
If this was a scam, hypothetically speaking, if this was a scam, would their behavior, acting this way, lashing out, tanking the system, would this be in line with how a scam would run to basically say, hey, well, we tried and people attacked us and we didn't really handle it well and system blew up and now we're pulling out? Or does this look like something that someone who's actually trying to make a console would do? Did I lose you?
Hello? Intellivision customer service. How may I help you?
I think Intellivision hacked the stream, dude.
They took Smash out.
Yeah.
Did you check to see if your Intellivision is plugged in?
Hello?
Hello?
Smash.
Yeah.
Just
There you go,
having
you're
just
back.
having a little fun at your expense.
I
That's
thought you were
all.
face down in the jacuzzi.
Can you hear us?
You guys. Hello?
Hello?
We can hear you, Smash. And he's gone.
Uh-oh.
Saggy got smashed.
I don't think he
Yeah,
wanted to
Amico.
answer that. I don't think he wanted to answer that question.
Is your Amico plugged in?
Don't do that voice call. That's not.
But it's my phone answering voice.
Yes, but we're not gonna do that.
All right.
We'll get in trouble.
All right, fine.
Smash got yeeted from the stream. The
Yeah.
Amico Samurais came and got him.
That was a hit.
Well,
I think they put a hit on him.
new number. Who this? Yeah. Well, if he comes back, we're here for him. I will put.
I don't think
link.
he wanted to answer. I don't think he wanted to answer that question. I think it almost seemed like he pretended
said he
like
got a
he couldn't
call.
hear us.
He's here. The link is in the chat. Keemstar, Smash, come on in. Water's fine.
Come on in, guys. No, we promise no horse heads or anything else. Come on, it's all safe.
Yeah, why do I got intro on there? What the hell's going on? 1 hour intro. No,
Blew
Mike. It wasn't supposed to say intro. I don't know why the hell that was on there.
That could maybe be re-edited with something else on top of it.
We don't care. This stream is not going to stay up, as I said. The intention of the stream was never to be up.
You were just going to pull out some highlights.
Yeah. There he is. He's back from the dead.
Oh, he's back.
Hey,
There
sorry
you
about
go.
that. My wife called me. My wife called me. She's like, "You gotta come on. We gotta get going." I'm like, "Yeah." And she kept calling over and over, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on a podcast right now." She's like, "All right, well, hurry up because we gotta get going." So I can answer your question, but I gotta go after this. So what was the question? Sorry about that.
Would the behavior that Intellivision executives are exhibiting, would that be more in line with a scam or more in line with people trying to actually make a console?
That, you know what, that's the problem with this is I worry that they're using people's goodwill to take advantage of them at this point. And I would not have said that. I would not have said that without the fourth crowdfunding campaign. But that pushed me over the edge with it, where I'm just like, I can't in good faith keep supporting this. If it comes out, great. I'm really happy for them. But it's been mismanaged to hell to this point. And why should we as consumers be on the hook for a poorly managed launch of a new console? And I feel like we've given them so much runway that I think if they got mad at me for saying this, they really need to self-reflect and be like, maybe we could have done things differently. And I think Tommy would even agree, because I've chatted with him about this before, that they went too big too fast, that they should have done this at a much smaller scale with a limited launch and a local area, and get them out and have people test market them, see what people thought about them, and get some feedback. Like I said this to OTG in his podcast last night too. Like what Nintendo did back in 85, 86 when they launched it in New York City for 1 year before it went across the country, where it was just testing it out in America to see what America thought about it and US citizens thought about it. And they got really good feedback and figured it out and learned how to scale. And this was just like, let's get an office in Dubai. Let's get an office in Europe. Let's get an office in America. Let's make millions and millions of these things. Okay, now let's figure out what are we even doing? Oh, make some games. Oh, okay, what's the console gonna look like? What? And they did it backwards. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it should have been more of a, because Tommy is such a passionate person and a gamer at heart, and I genuinely believe that it's ironic to me that he went like full-blown businessman trying to blow this thing up instead of just sticking to being the passionate gamer of making it a passion project and having it grow organically and have people fall in love with it and share it with their friends and showcase it on social media, be like, there's this new game console that no one knows about. But how cool would that have been? You know what I mean? Like that would have really, the viral marketing of that's long gone. It's out the window. But I feel like if Tommy had the opportunity to do this all over again, he would have gone that direction. But to answer your question, at this point, it kind of, I'm not saying it is a scam, but if it smells like it, walks like it, looks like it, I mean, what are you gonna say it is? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard.
One thing before you leave.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but in 2020, in 2020, they actually had a manufacturer lined up, willing to have a turnkey operation all set up for Intellivision. And Intellivision walked away from the deal because they thought they could get chips for a cheaper price.
I believe that. And I think that's ultimately them just showing that they are mismanaging themselves. They shoot themselves in the foot. They try to go cheaper, trying to make as much money, and it turns into how much money can we make out of this project instead of we're really passionate about this and our love for the system will show through and that will be successful in itself. And that was the biggest issue. And I believe that. I mean, here's the other thing too that I haven't even mentioned. And this is not Intellivision's fault. Like, I don't want to make it sound like all their decisions have been terrible. Although somebody might hear this and be like, this is a terrible decision too with who they went with. Maybe they didn't research it well enough or whatever. But I mean, they lost 1.2 million or 1.3 million to that chip manufacturer in China. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that money's gone. Like I talked to Tommy about that and he's like, yeah, that's gone. Like we're hoping that we can work with them to still get something. But at this point, like they basically are holding their money ransom or hostage for ransom because they got the money. They're in China. And then they said, wait, we're actually going to need like, I don't remember what he said, like another $1 million for us to actually do this. And Tommy and the team are like, no, we agreed on this. And China's like, we don't care what we agreed on. This is what we're changing the contract to. You can either deal with it or lose your money. So that's the dark side.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Mash, because you have admitted that maybe you've been a little too trusting in what Tommy has told you.
Mm-hmm.
So do you honestly believe a company that has, it's not just in China. Remember, ARC actually does have companies here in the U.S. It has offices and businesses and everything. So do you believe this company would hold $1.3 million hostage on Intellivision, and then somehow the rest of the world that has to deal with them in a manufacturing sense are just gonna be like, oh yeah, good job, ARC, you fucking screwed over that Intellivision company. Here, let me do business with you.
See, here, that's a great point because I didn't know that. So it makes you, when you hear that, you're like, what? Because all I was spouting was what Tommy told me. And I think that's the problem that I've always had is I've talked to Tommy and this is what Tommy tells me. And I'm at the point where I don't know what to believe anymore. And what happens if Intellivision hit them up with, oh, actually, we're changing the terms and we want you to make this many instead of this many. And they're like, no, we agreed on this, not that. So you're right. It could have been totally different. or move the date or anything. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't know. That's and I've gotten to the point, and I hate to say this, but I've gotten to the point where I can't give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. So I just kind of throw my hands up, and that's why I say I can't keep pumping the system when I personally don't feel good about it. If I don't feel comfortable with the company.
I hate to be rude, but Smash, you better go before your wife gets mad at you.
Yeah, no worries. Anything else real quick? Any quick stuff? And I can hop on in the future too, but
yeah,
what's that?
We'll definitely have you back on because we got tons of questions. Nothing is ever quick on this channel.
Oh no, I saw your 10-hour steam that you didn't pee for. Yeah, it's impressive. But no, I really appreciate you guys being so gracious to me, especially after I was such a dick to you for so long.
Oh, it's no problem.
Man, it means a lot, though. It goes a long way when someone can be cordial after being treated the way I treated you, man. I thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
God always teaches us.
We're all forgiving.
I appreciate it. I learned a lot of lessons in my own life too, and how I go about trying to treat others too from this experience. So, for what it's worth, hopefully it's made me a better person too. I would imagine Tommy doesn't feel that way about me, but hopefully other people do. So.
Don't worry about it.
Well, you're in the hater folder now, Smash.
He won't be picking up your call.
Smash,
he won't
I'm
be
gonna be
picking up your calls
anymore. I'm gonna be locked in the hater dungeon.
Yeah, you're one of us.
All right, guys, I'll let you go, and yeah, thanks again, and we'll be in touch in the future for sure.
Oh, no problem. See you later.
All right, have a good one.
Take it easy.
Later.
Smash JT, everybody, give it up for Smash JT.
Yeah, he did pretty good.
He's yeah, I'm telling you, man. It sounds like truth to me. I mean, what he's saying is hard to. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, it's no company is your friend. Let's just put it out there. Companies are not your friend.
No.
Okay?
I mean, yeah, and like people complaining about the whole Microsoft's decision about Activision. I'm like, they're all like that. Even Bubble Tea, Kellogg's, they're all like that. You can't trust any of them.
Yeah, show's right. It says, believe him or not, he's out 10 large.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Smash had lost 10,000. So, with 73 people here, we're going to get back to what we're originally doing. Taking a look at this here. Startup hopes to disrupt used game market by giving publishers a cut. Now, this was written by Frank Cifaldi on August 12th, 2011. They're talking about Postal Gamer. It is basically was supposed to be a Netflix type system where you would rent used games and then send them back in, and then someone else would get it. It's kind of almost like a GameFly. Made by Mike Kennedy. Now, if we just Control F here, whose name pops up? Right there. Says Kennedy and Sawyer aren't going at it alone either. They've assembled a board of directors that includes Subdue Software's Phil Adam.
Ooh.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Adam had a previous business relationship with Mike Kennedy.
I'll be right back, y'all. Keep talking.
Okay.
All right. Now, you would be surprised to know that Mike Kennedy did not do his due diligence, and Postal Gamer was already taken, postalgamer.com, so they couldn't get Postal Gamer. So they had to change the name of the company, and it became Parcel Gamer. So we're going to take a look at the Parcel Gamer webpage here. Hopefully this computer loads up fast enough. But this is a web archive because Parcel Gamer, because they couldn't get postalgamer.com, Parcel Gamer became part of the Game Gavel auction website that Mike Kennedy ran. So this is the archive. He's talking about what it is, And if we scroll down to the team page here, you can see that Phil Adam, industry advisor, active board member of Parcel Gamer. So even after they changed the name, they went ahead and stayed on the team. But you might be surprised to know that Parcel Gamer did not last very long. Went out of business. It's gone. But in its place, Mike Kennedy decided to have one more go at it. That's right, gentlemen. Mike Kennedy brought a new company, new online retailer. Fuck your cookies. New online retailer to return percentage of used game sales to publishers. Used games. This is EK Gaming. CEO Mike Kennedy. Now, again, EK Gaming, which was a new company at this point, went out of business. Their website is no longer active. Someone else picked it up. I think it's some streamer or somebody picked it up. So we had to go to the web archives again. Our friend, the Internet Archives. We're going to take a look at the team page for EK Gaming. As long as it loads the fuck up. Here we go.
Chug a chug a chug. Come on, that hamster needs to be spinning a little bit faster. Run, little guy, run.
My computer, hold on. P.O. Box Christmas says, damn, they stole the hell out of
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah, they really did.
Even the colors.
Why is it not loading up? I don't know what you guys see, but it's not loading up on my screen.
I see used games, War Thunder, play for free.
I see a white screen, which is funny. Hold on, let me stop sharing. I hear the dial-up noise. We've been having a lot of rain and a lot of snow.
Yeah. Cold weather.
Bad times. Bad times. Show saying if I get 500 subs,
I can't hear. I couldn't hear you. You went out.
Yeah,
500 subs. He gets a new PC.
Yeah.
What are we at? What are you at right now? How many subs?
Like 480, 477, something like that.
Oh, it's not your computer. That's doable.
Yeah, see, I believe Tom here. He says it's not your computer. Those sites like Games Radar and this one have so many pop-up ads and Java things and cookies going on. It slows everything down.
Yeah, that's so annoying.
All right. So here we go. So it loaded up.
Okay.
Let's go to the Chrome tab. So this is the EK Gaming team page. As you can see, it's all really crappy because of how old the website was.
It's like 2000s internet.
Here. Yeah. So again, they changed companies. And Phil Adam still involved after 3 attempts at a Netflix.
Boom. 3 strikes. He's out.
Three different Postal Gamer. They tried to bring it out. They made it it was a startup. They had to change the name. They came back out with Parcel Gamer again. Didn't work out. They came back with EK Gaming. Phil Adam was along for the ride on all 3 of these ventures.
Are there any other ones? Is there any other Mike Kennedy failures besides these that Phil Adam wasn't a part of?
Oh, that he wasn't a part of? Possibly. I haven't found.
I'm just wondering how many. This is just like a bad idea after bad idea.
But you might be familiar with the Intellivision Gen 2 Kickstarter. You familiar with that?
No,
No, you don't.
I don't
You're
think
not.
so.
Really? How could you not
Maybe.
be familiar with this? Hold on. Here
Uh,
let me look it up. Intellivision Gen 2. Yeah, basically, Mike Kennedy, he went to Keith Robinson, and they were going to have a Gen 2 Intellivision Kickstarter. Astro Smash, Shark, and Moon Patrol. We're going to have updated versions of the games for multi-platform.
What? When was this?
This was, I want to say 2016, maybe?
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
2015.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Tommy actually donated to the Kickstarter. He didn't fund. Let me see.
I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't hear any of that, Tony. You were just completely out. Can you hear me, dude?
Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Yeah. What I
Yes.
said.
Hey, I did. I don't know. I did not hear any of that. I don't know if the chat did, but I did not hear anything. Did anyone else hear what Tony said, or was
Well,
it? Did
I'll go over it again. What I was saying was, Intellivision had a Gen 2 Kickstarter in 2015. Mike Kennedy went to Keith Robinson with the idea of remaking Intellivision games. There you go. Television, Gen 2, Kickstarter. It was 3 games: Astro Smash, Shark, Moon Patrol. They only wanted $100,000, but they didn't make it. They didn't get the goal. As you can see, they did not get their goal. Tommy Tellerico, ex-CEO of Intellivision Entertainment, he did donate to the campaign. He didn't fund it. He could afford to fund the entire 100,000, but he didn't.
I don't think he has confidence in it.
Now, if you look real closely here, this says Retro Action Entertainment Incorporated. This is the company that started the Kickstarter. Okay, this was Mike Kennedy's company. They are the company that's responsible for these games that were made: the Moon Patrol, Astro Smash, and Shark.
Huh.
So, why am I bringing this up? Why do you think, gentlemen?
I don't know.
Hey, obsessive Gary's in the chat room. Hey, Gary, you want to join us?
You missed everything, Gary. That's what you missed.
There's some kind of connection going on here. So,
well, we're going to go over to our handy dandy Bizopedia. You know, it's our Bizpedia. It has all the business stuff here. It says Retro Action Entertainment Incorporated. That's the company we were talking about that made the Kickstarter. Now, if we scroll down here to the bottom, company contact.
Oh, Phil Adam.
Who is that company contact? Phil Adam. That's correct, folks. Phil Adam was part of the company that was doing the Intellivision Gen 2 Kickstarter that failed. That was fronted by Mike Kennedy. It is a small world.
Wow.
It's a small world in Amico land.
Does this rabbit hole go deeper, or have we hit the burrow?
We've hit the bottom. Except for one thing.
Oh, criminy. What? Let me guess. He blew his nose on somebody, right?
No. You see, gentlemen, what we looked at the very beginning was the image from the contact page of the Coleco Chameleon, correct?
Right.
Okay.
And that's the page we got right here. This page.
We would love to hear from you.
The Our Team page. We got Phil Adam there. Big Phil Adam. But gentlemen, I would turn your attention.
All right, Tony, we're not hearing you. Hang on. You were going to say turn your attention to something. Turn your attention to the date.
Turn your attention to the date in the upper right corner. Date, upper right corner.
April.
Right there.
April. I can't read it. My eyes suck. April something.
Wow, you're way off. That's March. March 3rd.
Oh, I was looking at the thing next to it. March 3rd, 2016.
March 3rd.
He's got the sight of a boomer.
Yeah, he does. Why is this date important?
Go ahead.
Why is the date important? Well,
okay.
The thing is, March 3rd, 2016 is after the Toy Fair, the New York City Toy Fair, in which the infamous SNES Junior in a Jaguar shell incident took place.
Oh.
Now, why would Phil Adam allow his picture to still be on the website? Wouldn't you think that after that happened, you would want no sort of connection to the company? You've taken it off your LinkedIn. Yeah. You don't want no one to connect. You would have said, "Hey, Mike, get my picture off that website. Get it down." But he didn't. It's still there.
He wants him to get it down.
How far after the toy show was this date, did you say?
A month after the toy show.
A month, yeah. I would have demanded it. I would have been released immediately. I would not want my name anywhere associated with once I knew how scamish it was.
And it was just days before the Kickstarter for the Coleco Chameleon was set to go live.
Wow. So he was full in. He was all in. Now he's just trying to distance himself from it.
Question. I mean, that's the $1 million question, right? Was he all in?
Look at how far he's had a track record of being with Mike Kennedy. So he knows the guy. He knows that he's talked with him. He can't. It wouldn't make sense for him to be in so many business ventures with him if he didn't know what he was doing, what he was going to do.
This is a post Coleco Chameleon interview with Mike Kennedy. Would you be surprised to know that if we hit Control F, Phil Adams' name comes up? So we will read. This is from Mike Kennedy's own mouth. It says, "I also hope that you would also wonder why I would go to all this trouble surrounding this venture with guys like Ben Herman. He was a rock star at Toy Fair and had tons of legit retailer interest in this. And Phil Adam, Paul Wiley, and eventually Steve Rosenbaum." So he's saying that, Phil Adam was contacted and he was there with him. Right. But that doesn't really tell us what Phil Adam did, right? That doesn't. It's kind of it's still just a name.
Well, duh. I mean, he's a hitman for the mafia.
I don't think we're ever really gonna know what Phil Adams' role at the Coleco Chameleon was. Was he a consultant, like Mike Mullis says, as he is regurgitating a story that Phil Adam told him?
Yeah.
Or did he do something different? Well, fortunately for us, I actually have another screenshot I'm going to show you.
Oh my God. So the rabbit holes, we're getting down into the rabbit shit.
So this comes from our good friends at the Atari Age. Damn it, I can't show you this. I got to, oh no, it actually did let me. I was going to say I was banned from Atari Age. I thought this wasn't going to show me the screenshot. But this is from Atari Age. Now again, Control F, go down to Phil Adam. So they were asking questions, and this is Mike Kennedy answering the questions. I will scroll up real quick. Parrot Head is Mike Kennedy's account on Atari Age. That's Mike Kennedy's been verified. So question 7 was, what happened to the quote-unquote team that you proudly splashed on the Chameleon page? It seems that their contributions were much smaller than those of hardware engineers. Why
Sounds
were they
familiar.
named? It says, why were they named while the hardware engineers were not? Their contributions weren't small. Ben was securing retailers. Phil Adam was working with Interplay and Blizzard to secure deals on HD remakes or 16-bit cart collections of their earliest hits. Phil used to be president of Interplay back in the heyday and is also very close with the execs at Blizzard. Now, does somebody who is actively trying to get deals with a company for games to be put on the Coleco Chameleon sound like a consultant or someone who actually works for the company?
That's more than a consultant. That's like a buyer, like he's helping.
Well,
getting things.
Remember, he was the VP of business.
Right, exactly.
So it sounds like it's basically very in line with what his job was supposed to be. So while others might not do their due diligence, while others might just take people's word at face value, we go the extra step. We go the extra mile. And we dig. We investigate. We do some journalism here at the Geek Getaway. And we find out the real answers. It seems that Phil Adam was, as someone so eloquently put in the chat, balls deep in this bitch.
I didn't see that.
Say again?
Phil Adams, balls deep in this bitch. He was involved with
in the Chameleons, up the
three
Chameleon's
different
ass.
mail order gaming ventures by Mike Kennedy. He was involved with Retro Action Entertainment, which was the company trying to do the Gen 2 Intellivision Kickstarter, which was run by Mike Kennedy. He was friends with Mike Kennedy. Neighbors, even.
Introducing the Mike Kennedy experiment.
Oh my God.
Introducing,
Neighbors.
Coming to you, the Mike Kennedy experiment.
Yeah,
BJC
or the Mike Kennedy experience.
That's right. Now again, I don't know if Mike Kennedy got in over his head, if this was a scam from the beginning, if it turned into a scam at some point. But it sure looks like Phil Adam, at the very least, had some knowledge of what was going on with the company. And I will remind you, the comment from Phil Adam that I'm going to go ahead and bring back up because it is very important that we look at this. Remember, this was a comment given to Mike Mullis to give to the world.
But there was world.
Yeah, the world. There's something about this comment that just doesn't sit right with me. And as soon as I point it out, I'm sure it's not going to sit right with the rest of you. Because knowing everything that we know that he was involved with the company. We know that he was working, trying to secure deals.
I mean,
and we know
truthfully
his name was still on.
Go on.
I was saying we know that his name was still on the. What's up, Master System? His name was still on the Coleco page long after the New York's Toy Fair incident. So he says here, which was unpaid consultant who walked away from the project after telling them not to take their product to Kickstarter or Indiegogo. But wait a minute here, folks. They never had a product. Why would Phil Adam advise Mike Kennedy not to go to Indiegogo or Kickstarter? What did Phil Adam know that he would tell them this?
He knew it was trash.
Because at the New York City Toy Fair, we knew that there was a SNES Junior in a Jag show. A month later, they would do the Kickstarter. the Indiegogo. But if Phil Adam is telling them not to do this, then either A, he knew what Mike Kennedy was planning, B, he realized they didn't have nothing to show and it would be an embarrassment, or C, Phil Adam is completely incompetent and shouldn't be running anything.
I mean,
What's up,
I'm not
Master?
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. This whole thing has made me kind of numb. So,
Yeah. It's like, dude. It's like, think about how far we've come since that day when it was discovered that what the Coleco Chameleon was. Like that seems like ages ago. Like we have transformed into this insanity, and the ride has not stopped. It's like just morphed into this. The same players are playing the same players are playing the same game that they've been playing for 5-6 years now. Just a different. They pass the baton to the next person.
I got to read this comment from Mr. Keemstar here. It says, Intellivision Amico has a wheel on his controller. Your other console don't. Who's really the scam? Not Intellivision Amico. You're right, Keemstar. Yeah. I'm sorry. Jump on in. I know that we're a small channel, but if you're going to come here in the comments, jump on in. We've had big people. We had Justin Wayne. He sent in a video.
Yeah, Tommy. Tony loves all the big guys, so you know.
We're the biggest little channel on YouTube.
Yeah, Tony loves the big guys, so you know.
Yeah, we won't bite.
I mean, I will, but you know.
Come on in, Drama Alert. Let's hear your take on the Amico. What's up, Master System? You've been quiet. What have you been thinking?
Yeah, good evening, guys. Well, I was letting you talk, but I can't believe what I'm hearing again tonight. It's again
there you are.
Waking up again from another dream. It's unbelievable because I still thought until tonight that, you know, Phil Adam, you know, maybe at the end of the day he took the companies in the wrong direction. Maybe still he wasn't aware of what he was doing. But at this point, I mean, if he was in front of a judge, in front of a court, and trying to defend this, he would look guilty. He looks like he's the guy organizing all this. And at this point, I don't have any trust in that guy, and I believe that he's always he's there for that. And again, it's just my opinion, but at this point, I'm just thinking: is Tommy also aware? Was also trying to do this since the beginning, or not? But Phil Adam, in my opinion, he's guilty as charged, man. I can't believe this. It's unbelievable. And congrats for investigation here. I can't believe this. I just can't believe it.
It's all right. It happens. Don't worry about it.
There's a theory that I've been playing around with, and I'm going to preface this by saying this is a theory. Don't take this as fact. It's a theory that Tommy actually really intended to make a system. Tommy was really excited. This is his dream, passion project, all that. And other people saw this and knew that this was a terrible idea, but they could use Tommy to their advantage to make a little money. Yeah. So Tommy became the patsy, the fall guy, if you will, for what would turn into Chameleon 2.
Wow, that's kind of gracious of you.
We're getting deep into conspiracy territory.
No, wow, that's kind of gracious of you.
I mean, I'm not really think logically. Yeah. Think about it logically.
No, absolutely. There's yes.
Tommy was out there running wild. No one was reeling him in. They didn't have any intention because they didn't want it to sell. They wanted Tommy to be, acid out there, pissing people off.
Guys, I think Master System wants to say something.
I forgot what I would say. Yeah, it came out of my mind. Now go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, because like I said, they're all getting paychecks. We know that Nick Richards is getting his rent paycheck. Phil Adams getting paycheck. Maybe John Alvarado might have been roped into, not knowing. But it does kind of feel like if this was a scam, and knowing how Tommy is, it'd be really easy to be like gas him up, like, yeah, Tommy, this is a great idea. Go out there and sell it like $1 million. You got this. While they're just sitting back collecting money, not doing anything for 2 years. Because really, they haven't done nothing for like 2 years.
Yeah, I think you're on point with all this, and I think also, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I think it's not a coincidence that Phil Adam is there, and I think it's not a coincidence that Phil Adam has, whatever you want to call it, ousted Tony, or that the Tommy is now not Tony, Tommy, that Tommy is now not the CEO anymore. I think it's very convenient, and I know he's got personal issues and all that. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt how horrible it is, but I think that professionally, it's all very, very convenient. I don't believe in coincidences, and I don't also believe in usually in conspiracy theories. I'm a very level-headed person, but I mean, this is not a conspiracy theory at this point, because if you go in front of a court again, if you go in front of a court, the truth is going to come out.
That's what we
need.
Drama Alert would like us to know that Drama Alert says they've done nothing. What? The system has a full LED life bar on it.
Bar.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the system is beautiful. I mean, the way it's designed, it looks nice and all, but it's an unfinished product.
Smash is coming back in.
Come on, Jeff.
He bought himself some more time.
Yeah, with the in-laws, it's always tricky.
I'll tell you what. If you told me 2 years ago that I would still be covering Amico and I'd have Keemstar trolling my chat, I would have never believed you.
It's like, no, ridiculous.
You guys are crazy.
I don't even know who the guy is.
What's up, Smash?
What's up? I didn't think I'd be back this soon.
You got yourself some more time. Good job.
I did. I had to travel from one in-law's house to another in-law's house, and I got a little bit of downtime here. And I saw Marceau here. I used to call him Marcel because my English is very phonetic. So
yeah.
I'm sorry, Marceau. I heard someone else say Marceau. I'm like, next time I talk to him, I'm gonna say it the right way. God damn it.
No worries, man. Even my wife can say my name right. So.
No, man. I saw you in here, and I was like, I gotta hop back on and tell people that actually. Someone asked like how I came to the epiphany, and you were telling the story the other day too. And it's like me and you were chatting in DMs, and we both kind of came to it at the same time. We're like, something just doesn't smell right here, like. And I wanted to give you props for it. And I saw you on here, and I felt like I completely ignored you.
Carl doesn't have his shirt on.
That's probably. Wait, do I have the camera on? No, I don't have a shirt on. You're right.
Tony
I have sweatpants.
Tony doesn't have pants on though.
I never string the pants on.
I missed it. What? what I want?
Nothing.
Inside
Not
jokes.
worth it.
No, but Marceau and me both were talking, and he is a very rational, down-to-earth human being. For those in the chat that don't know him, very good dude. And very honest, just like, hey, let's look at this rationally. And he reminds me a lot of me because I think he gets himself in a lot of trouble because he just kind of says, hey, here, Marceau, you got your sonic ring.
Yeah, I turned it off.
I always know that's you, man. But it gets us in trouble because people don't like hearing what people have to say if it's not what they want to hear, So yeah. I think me and him kind of connected on a level because we both feel like we're very blunt about stuff. Not that you're not, Tony, but I feel like he was in the same spot that I was, where we were both like on board with this Amico idea for so long, and then we got to the point, and And everyone looks at me like the Phil Adam thing was like the reason why I flipped. And I'm like, no, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. But there was like a million things before that. And you put that on top of it, and everything just collapsed. I just couldn't keep going after that. So yeah, I just want to hop on and say that. But yeah, I'm here.
Well,
And that is the real Keemstar. I see he's got a check mark. So what's up, Keemstar? Very cool that he's here.
Crazy.
I can't see that in the StreamYard, so I don't know from here, from my end.
Right, no, I saw it before I hopped in. It was a check mark on him, so it is him.
So I got a question for you, Smash, real quick, because I'm actually really upset with you. Super pissed at you. You cost me $2,000, so a little upset.
Go what? How?
So they were auctioning a signed Intellivision Amico shell, and somehow none of you guys bid on it, and you just let me win it for $2,000. What's up with that?
I'll tell you straight up. I'm like, if I really wanted one, I could have just got it from Tommy. So why would I bid on it? That was my thinking. But I was like, I don't really care because I'll like just wait for mine. Because I was so in the mindset of like, it's coming out soon. So why would I spend $2,000 on a shell of something I'm going to get?
Tony knew.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, he wanted my answer. That's my answer to that. I have a question for Smash. Has your opinion of the controller changed at all since the day you tested it out? Do you think it really could have worked? Tom, here's the thing with the controller.
Question.
Like, it's a great question, and I feel like for a lot of games, the controller is flawless. It's a very one-to-one. There was a not a noticeable lag on the games that I played, but there was a moment that I played it when I played the pool game, playing like shooting pool. When I tried to turn the stick and I was spinning the dial on it and it wasn't moving the stick. And I said, Tommy, is this something not working on it? He's like, no, you got to press down on it for it to function. And I was like, oh, so that was something that kind of, I was like, oh, that's not like ideal user experience because the natural motion was just to spin the stick to spin the
knob.
Yeah, but you had to press it in and spin it while it was pressed. And I'm like, that's not ideal, but it works. It was a little bit clunky, but I was like, that was one of the things I'm like, I wish they thought of stuff like that to make it a completely flawless experience with the controller.
Hey, there's an interesting game for the Amico. Spin the bottle.
Spin the bottle. Yeah, there you go.
It could have been.
But the other thing about the controller that I was kind of frustrated with, not frustrated, but just kind of like wish that they put a little bit more effort into was to make it a standalone where you could like maybe like you remember the VMU units on the Dreamcast when you could like take it on the go and play games on it?
Yeah.
Like I was thinking
that's what we always thought. Like it just
seems
useless.
Right. And he's like, no, they can't do that. They don't have enough onboard memory for that ability.
Then why have it? You know, it's just one of those things that's just like frivolous.
Well, I feel like, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, how they were cutting corners everywhere to save money and just to make money off this thing instead of going with the pure passion of making it as good as they possibly could make it, where they were like, oh, that's going to cost too much money to do that, so don't do that with it. And then it's like, okay, but then you're going to charge $350 for it now or more? That's ridiculous. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No,
another thing that everybody always wants to know, they got to know the inside scoop on the Jay Allard situation. For those unfamiliar,
I brought the Jay Allard thing up yesterday in the OTG podcast, and I was just, what's that?
I was saying Overthink Gaming, yeah.
Yeah, on the Overthink podcast. And I'll say it again here, because that was another sticking point that really frustrated me, is the whole Jay Allard thing. Tommy called me up. He was really excited. And he's like, dude, you're not going to believe who's joining our team. It's going to blow everyone away. It gives our project so much legitimacy, this, that, the other thing. I was like, who? What's going on? He's like, Jay Allard. I was like, the Xbox guy? He's like, yeah. I was like, no way. He's like, yep, he's joining Intellivision. I was like, holy shit, that is huge. And I'm like, I can't wait to rub this in all the haters' faces and be like, look, I told you it's a legitimate project. Look at this. The other thing is, all this other stuff. And Tommy's like, yeah, so if you want to like prep a video, I'm gonna let you be the special announcer for it. You can we're gonna do a press release at the same time that your video goes live. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I made this video. I went into the background of what Jay Allard did for the viewers that didn't know him and why it's such a big deal. And then Jay Allard just kind of like took one look around and left. And I'm like, yikes. And I asked Tommy about it, and I said this last night too. Tommy just kind of like brushed it off like, oh, he was busy with life, this, that, the other thing, and it's not a big a deal as what people are making it out to be. He still advises and the other thing and whatever. But and then he just move on to another topic. And I'm just like, I didn't question him further on that, and that always irked me about myself. Like, I wish that I dug deeper on that when I was in the moment, but I was too, like, caught up with everyone's trying to take this thing down. Whatever you say, Tommy, you're right. And I'm just like, wait, no, like, that's a big deal. We need to reflect on this and be like, I made a video about it. I was excited about it. Jay Allard was joining your team, and now he's not. And yet you guys are now, it comes out later that they're in trouble with the SEC because they were touting it like he's still there when he is not.
Yeah,
so that's the Jay Allard thing.
Well, further talk about Jay Allard, because there's been some discrepancy as to whether or not he actually worked for Intellivision. As far as you're aware, did he actually work for Intellivision, or was he always just a consultant?
He was always a consultant, as far as I understood, but I don't know. Like, Tommy never. That was the funny thing about it. He's just like, he used words that were not very descriptive. He's like, he's joining the team. He's a part of Intellivision. Like, he wouldn't say like specific stuff that I recall off the top of my head. Maybe he did. Maybe I said it in my video, but honestly, it's been so long I don't ever remember.
Yeah. Well, I do notice he does use weasel words as they were, things that make an implication a certain way, but not necessarily you could always go back and go, I didn't actually say he worked at Intellivision. I just said he was part of the team.
I said he worked with us, not at it. Yeah. I said around her nose, not up it. Sorry, Spaceballs. Anyway. No Spaceballs? Come on, guys.
I love it.
Sorry, I zoned out for a minute. Sorry.
Yeah, Spaceballs.
I didn't hear the joke.
So I think, you had obviously a sort of a feud, one-sided, I would say, with Pat and Ian, where you were attacking them more than they were attacking you. But as we all know, Tommy did make personal attacks at Pat and Ian. How did you guys come to terms with that? Because whenever we bring it up, it always seems like, no, we didn't. No, you guys are lying.
Oh, no.
Tommy never.
Well, I mean, Pat and Ian definitely aren't innocent either. Let's be honest.
I'm not saying they're not.
I think where it all went wrong. This is a very loaded question that you asked very briefly. I'll try my best to answer it briefly. I never really, when it first started out, I always kind of knew that Pat was kind of like, kind of a little bit of an a-hole, but not like, I mean, he kind of just did his own thing. And I was like, whatever. Like, I was like a Hodunk channel, like nobody. And I remember he made a tweet one time asking what people wanted on the C podcast. And I responded with like, oh, I think you guys should talk about like this other thing. And he like replied to me like, aren't you the asshole that like called me out for saying something about the Amico? And I was like, oh my God, this guy watched my channel? Like, I didn't put two and two together back then. I was just like, holy shit. And then we started doing like a video argument with each other on Twitter, like publicly that night. And I was like, this is crazy. I'm not like Pat the NES Pug, this huge channel, talking to me. At the time, I think I had like 1,500 subscribers, if that, or maybe 2,000 subscribers. I don't remember. And I was like, I can't believe he's like going at it with me. This is crazy. And I'm just like, okay, like I don't remember exactly what happened, but I'm like, I don't want to like fight you, man. I thought I could like say what I wanted to say, and you could say what you wanted to say, and we could still be cool. Like I didn't know you'd be like hate me as a human being because I said things that I disagreed with you back in my early video. And from that point on, I was like, okay, it's on. Like he blocked me on Twitter, and I was just like, okay, if he's gonna block me on Twitter and try to retweet videos about me and make fun of me on Twitter, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna let him have it on my videos and be like, I'll go right back at him. And then he'd come back at me on like with his little jabs on the CU podcast, which he definitely did. And I'd go back at him and whatever. It was what it was. It was a YouTube feud that I had fun with, and I'm sure he would disagree with that, but whatever. It was what it was. But as far as the whole situation with me and him, like I never took it like personally. Like I never blocked him, and I always wanted to have an open line of communication because I thought it was like an interesting dynamic that we had. But he took it very personally, which was interesting to me. I don't know if I completely veered off what your question was. So, what was your question?
I don't even remember.
My question
either.
was, with Tommy saying things about Ian's health, making comments about Pat, comments about me, other people, calling people morons and mentally challenged and disturbed, and I'm sure he said many other colorful things behind the scenes. How are you guys able to reconcile the fact that he's coming out there saying all these horrible things, and people are not supposed to be quote unquote haters towards him? Like, if Tommy's attacking
towards
people,
who?
Towards Tommy.
Towards who? Towards Tommy or towards Pat?
Towards Tommy. Like Tommy attacking other people, and then everyone was kind of like always surprised when Tommy would get shit thrown back at him.
Yeah, I can't speak for Tommy. I don't want to like try to speak for him. I'd say if I put myself in his position, I'd say that this is a passion project, and he looks at Pat and Ian as people that are trying to ruin the chances of, just like he looks at you as someone trying to ruin the success of his channel, of his platform, his gaming console that he's making. And Tommy even told me privately that there was like a deal that fell through because an investor got cold feet after watching YouTube videos and having some serious concerns about it. That was like a huge deal. And Tommy was very, very frustrated at the YouTubers for ruining a potential deal. And he wanted to go scorched earth on it. And I was like, dude, calm down. It's okay. Like, this is what you got to deal with. Like, there's going to be YouTube haters. I tried to be rational with him on this, but he felt like the quote unquote haters out there were ruining the opportunity of the success of the Amico. And I look at it as what comes first, the chicken or the egg situation, because you need the money to make the system, but the people that are talking about it are taking away the potential funds, so you can't make the system, but they're making good points, so who's right? You know what I mean? It's a tough situation.
Well, maybe we were warning people, that this could not be. We were just saying, just be careful.
Yeah.
Don't ask questions. There's some things about this that don't make sense.
Real quick, because I've heard this story before. I did watch the Overthink Gaming last night. Now, Tommy tells you guys, hey, this deal fell through because YouTubers were saying mean things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, why didn't you just ask Tommy, well, if those things are untrue, why didn't you just show the investor the truth? Right?
I kind of did. I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but that was like literally my response to him. I'm like, speak with your, actions speak louder than words. Like, what did you show them? to prove them wrong. And he's like, no, they already made up their mind. They saw this, that. We tried to bring them back. They hemmed and hawed, and then it was a lost cause. And I'm like, well, I go back to, if someone's gonna break off a huge financial deal based off of a YouTuber video, there are much greater, deeper rooted issues at hand. So you didn't lose the deal over a YouTuber. You lost it because it's your own fault. Like, that's the way I look at that.
The YouTuber video was probably the final straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes, exactly. I think it's like when you are looking, just like for anyone, when you're looking to invest in something, you research it, and you want to be reassured of your choice and your decision. And for me, before I invested, it was going to see it in person and assuming that this was what they said it was. And that when Tommy said they're almost there, they just need to get over the hump, I was like, I want to be a part of this. I want to get this thing out there. I love gaming. I love retro gaming. I loved my time playing this. Let's do this. I want to participate and be a part of this because I think it's a good thing to have more competition out there and a smaller company and a place for indie devs to put games out that you don't have just the big three out there. You can have little companies trying to make it with their own console. I thought that would be really cool. Like, that was my whole thinking with all that.
Hey, I got something to say here. Can you imagine when the entire YouTube, including myself, was trashing Atari for the Atari VCS? And can you imagine if they had said anything? But no, they didn't say anything. Instead, they released the console instead of going against every YouTuber. You know,
and it went away. It didn't get a lot of traction. You know, you can talk crap about it, but they delivered a product.
They just delivered.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't perfect. It was never going to be, but at least it delivered a product that's kind of okay.
Pretty much what they said they were going to do.
Yeah.
You know,
I think with Atari, my issue with that whole project, and the reason why I had a really sour taste in my mouth with them, was my interaction with their marketing team, where they were really rude to me. And I was literally just like reaching out to be like, hey, I just want to ask a few questions, just like you did, Tony, with the Amico. Like, you just want to reach out and ask a few questions. And their marketing firm they hired was super sketchy, super like, you're a nobody, we don't give a shit about you. Like, not saying it like that, but basically brushing me off like that. And I'm like, okay, cool, but I want to cover your product and I want to talk about it. I'd love to just have some insight on these questions about the console and some insight on this, that, the other thing. And they basically were like, go pound sand. And I was like, okay. And then I researched it a little further, and I found out Michael Arts was the guy that I believe bought the Atari name. And then his history was basically just buying old names and trying out these weird, funky products with them. And most of them failed. And I'm like, this guy's just using the Atari name. He's just going to do this again and turn this into a scam. So much to my surprise, I'll be the first to admit I was completely wrong about the Atari VCS. I mean, yes, it's a very overpriced, cheap PC in a box, but it came out. Like, that's blows my mind. Like, if you were to ask me like 3 years ago when the Atari VCS was going against the Amico, I'd be like, there's no way on this earth that the Atari VCS will come out and the Intellivision Amico will be delayed 3 years and we don't know if it's coming out. That's not happening. That's impossible. And yet here we are.
Real quick before someone else jumps in. Do you think that your interactions with the Atari team and then your interactions with the Amico team helped you become the Amico superfan? Like, because Atari was so rude to you.
Yes, okay. I would 100% agree with that. Yes, which actually worked to my detriment because of that. I think it was a lot easier for Tommy to take advantage of me because I was so put off by Atari that the second he gave me any attention, I was just like, all right,
saw an opportunity.
I was like, this is how you do it. Thank you, man. Yes, let's do this. And yeah, I look back at myself, and I'm just like, I don't want to say I'm embarrassed for it, because I feel like there was a legitimate chance for this to come to fruition, and maybe it would have been flawless without the pandemic. But that is a great question in itself. Would this be any different if there was no pandemic?
No, don't think so.
Yeah, it would have closed shop
I
by now.
wonder. It would have what?
It would have
Closed
closed shop by now without the pandemic to at least mitigate some of the negative attention towards not delivering a product for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an excuse, the pandemic, for this, in my opinion.
What's going on, Carl? One thing real quick.
no.
F1 JB has been really adamant. He wants to know, did you sign an NDA? Smash?
No, there are no NDAs.
No, it's just a
Never
family thing. This is just mouth to mouth. And hey, don't repeat this. And right?
Well, yeah, he was very. That's why I trusted Tommy, is because he's like, hey, don't say anything about this to people, because it's still like being worked on, and it's not completely done. So don't say anything about this, and I don't want people to think this. But here's what. And then he'd say some stuff that got me really excited. I'd be like, whoa, I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry. It happened so many times that he would say that. But then he'd say some stuff, and I'd be like, okay, is that cool for me to say? He'd be like, yeah, you can tell people that. I'd be like, okay, cool. So there would be that. But there was no like paperwork that I signed or anything like that.
I got a few points to make on various, which I was trying to say, but I found out somebody muted me. Number one, Pathianius Punk just seems like the kind of guy who's smoking the cigar and blows off the little kid who asks him for an autograph. Two, in regards to the Atari VCS, when I heard the rumor about Bitcoins, I compared it to the Nigerian prince of video game consoles. That's about it, actually.
Good points, Carl.
Here's another question, because we got a follow up here from Tommy Amico, and I know what he's talking about. He said, "Did Pat lie about the NDA?" He's talking about the at E3 2019. Supposedly, the John Riggs and them signed an NDA. Do you know anything about that?
I don't. If it's off the top of my head, I recall that they said they did not, but I that's just me from what I remember. I don't know for sure. You'd have to ask Riggs and MJR and all them. I have no idea. I know I can speak for myself, and I say I know that I never did, and I know like people in the group with the Crayola event and stuff like that. I don't even want to speak for them. I know I never did. I never had to sign.
They probably didn't either. It's probably just been like a gentleman's word that you wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, on a personal question, something that I need to know the answer to. When did Tommy sign the MLB license agreement?
I don't know if he ever signed anything. As far as I would assume, I think the MLB this is speculation, but I think they allow anybody to do their games if you just put a request in. Like, I don't know. I've never heard of a situation where the MLB is like, no, you can't make a game on your platform unless it's during a year where they have like exclusive rights or something. But I don't know. That's my guessing. I don't want to be like, oh, you said that. I don't know for sure.
Oh, because me and Tommy had a bet over the MLB license.
Yeah, y'all did.
And I think there was
Ricardo said, how am I going to tell my wife that I lost 10,000? Just curious. Oh, she doesn't care. She's like, whatever. Like, here's the thing. Like, I invest in a lot of different things. I make money in a lot of different things. I lose money in a lot of different things. Just like everyone does. I'm not gonna try to pretend like I'm this all-knowing person. That's why I beat myself up with the Intellivision situation, because I feel like I misled my viewers on something that I was very sure of, so sure of that I put money into. And then the second that I finally woke up from it, I just had this holy crap moment that I'm like, I feel terrible. I feel terrible that I might have influenced somebody to invest in it after seeing what it's turned into right now. I feel terrible about that. And
Well, you didn't know.
I didn't know, but at the same time, it's like I learned a lot about the world with this situation, and it's made me kind of rethink everything. But just to go back to the question, like, I mean, I've made a lot of money in investments. I've lost a lot of money in investments. The $10,000 it's a lot of money to me still, but we'll get past it. My greater personal concern right now is my tax situation, not the $10,000.
And last question, because I do have to go myself. I'm getting text messages. But when did you know that Tommy was no longer the CEO?
When did I know that? I'm gonna say
I mean, we don't need the
it
exact
was
hour.
no. I'm trying to think of exactly when it was.
Ballpark.
Ballpark was like a week before it was like public knowledge in the SEC documentation and stuff for the crowdfunding, when we had a private Zoom call with me and a few other people in the Amico Armada crew, that we were talking about how Tommy's going through some pretty serious personal stuff right now, and how Phil is taking over for CEO. And then in that call, Tommy's like, Phil's actually been CEO for a while now. But we're actually like, this is when people are going to find out about it. They're going to start picking through it. So we just want to give you guys the heads up, that just so you know about. And that's where I was like, okay, so Tommy's no longer the CEO, one. And two, he hasn't been the CEO for months now. And then it came out like a few weeks later that not only is Tommy no longer the CEO, and not only is Phil someone who used to work on the Coleco Chameleon, but that three, Tommy is now going back on tour for Video Games Live. And I'm just like,
Well, that's not true.
What? It's not true.
And again, I keep having to correct this misinformation. That tour date was actually on Video Games Live website for like a year. No one just cared. It was like, because he was the CEO, no one thought anything of it. It was like, oh yeah, because he did that show in Texas while being the
CEO. Right. I think the greater concern. Sorry, not going back on tour. Sorry, but the fact that it's not being put off or delayed or anything like that as of right now, it makes you wonder how much of his mind is with the Intellivision brand, and how much of it is, okay, I'm jumping off this ship and going somewhere else to do this other stuff. Not saying that that's what's happening, but that's the perspective that people are going to have when they see that, and he's got to know that that's how it's going to come across.
Yeah. Well, I think that this has been a great 2-hour stream. I will make a video tomorrow recapping this for anyone who doesn't want to watch 2 hours. This will go into the unlisted archives on the channel, just because it's better for analytics and all that YouTuber stuff. Because we're trying to be professional here, just a little bit. Thank you for being here, Smash, Master System, Marceau, Days Gaming, Skull and D-Pad, everybody in the chat.
And I'll tell you right now, Tony, too. I wasn't going to hop back on, but I saw Marceau on. I was like, I got to say what's up. He's awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I've enjoyed talking with him.
He's a real good dude. Everyone, check him out. I mean, I'm sure all you guys are awesome dudes. I know Days Gaming. I don't really know Skull and D-Pad. I got to check you out. And Tony, check all these guys out for sure. Really good people.
Thanks, you missed all the Mike Kennedy stuff. You missed it all.
Yeah, Ninja Kitty. We went through
course, it. I will say too before we go. Oh, Keemstar, yeah, that'd be cool. Tommy did mention something about knowing Mike Kennedy, like in passing in a conversation one time with me, and I remember being like, "That's kind of a red flag. That's weird." But again, that was back when I didn't question. I was just like, "Okay," but I mean, now all this stuff's coming out. I was like, "Wait a second."
Yeah.
Well, he did go on that video and basically defended Mike Kennedy. Said that Mike was a good guy and wasn't looking to scam nobody, but just got in over his head.
Yeah.
Which you could say about Tommy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chucky was a good guy too, and look what happened.
He's a good guy. All right. We're going to play the exit song, and we're going to get out of here. Thank you again for coming. Keemstar, next time when you're not scared, hop on in. Water's fine.
Hop on in, come on in, and be our friend.
All right, let's go.